Good morning, Daily family. It is Friday morning and today I have my growth ultrasound. So Pat and I are on our way to that. We've dropped Grayson off at daycare and now we are heading on our way to the doctor's. So I've been feeling the baby move all night, all morning. So like it's definitely getting bigger. It's definitely getting stronger. I'm noticing like the movements are getting more pronounced. So that's good. I'm just really nervous and excited to see what the doctor has to say regarding my growth ultrasound today. I have a split lip. How did that happen? It's been so dry here. Basically the entire state of Florida is on fire. And there were some really like close wildfires in and around my area, and it also affected how Pat got to work in the morning since he works over on the coast. So it's just the air has been so dry, and I've been drinking more, like at least 100 ounces of water a day. I don't know if you remember, but I got this Contigo like water cup, and it's actually helped me, like motivated me to drink more water. It stays, like I don't like the taste of water, and in this thing it stays super, super cold, which is like how I like water if I am gonna drink water. So it's motivated me to drink a lot of water. But anyway, we are about to head to the doctor's, and so the next time I can film and update you guys, I will. So I will talk to you in a little bit. Good afternoon, Daily family. It is Friday afternoon, and I've been back from the doctor's for quite some time, and I am working from home, so I'm taking a little bit of a snack break. I'm gonna make myself a cup of decaf coffee. Won't really help with the headache I have. I just took 2 Tylenol, but I just need a break. I've been staring at my computer screen for the longest time, and I just think that I have like a tension headache or something from looking at the computer screen. Anyway, you guys don't care about that. You probably want to know how my doctor's appointment went. So if you didn't know, I went to the doctor's today to get a growth ultrasound based on the results of my previous ultrasound, where they had told me that the baby was measuring within the 13th percentile. So they scheduled me for 3 weeks later, which would be today, where I would come in and they'd do another ultrasound, and then they'd measure the growth of the baby against what the baby was that they measured last time. When we went in, the ultrasound tech was measuring everything. We had to close our eyes quite a bit because we aren't finding out what the sex of the baby is. So that was kind of a bummer. We hardly got to see a lot of what was on the screen because she was doing a lot of measurements of each individual body part. And I guess when you do a growth ultrasound, when they measure the growth of the baby, or like the size of the baby, even a millimeter counts, they said. So they literally measure everything because every little millimeter counts. So she took quite a bit of time, but a lot of her measurements involved the lower portion of the baby, so we couldn't look. When we did see the baby, we saw, like, you know, the head and its feet were actually like up above its head. Like it was basically folded in half, and it's the top of its foot was resting on the top of its head. We got to see it yawning. It was sucking its thumb. It was just opening and closing its mouth, just like practicing swallowing. And I loved watching that. The heartbeat was 154 beats per minute, which was great. And everything, like everything about the anatomy, the baby was perfect. I started to get a little concerned because the ultrasound tech asked how much my son weighed when he was born. And I was like, oh no, they're like doing a comparison to see if like we have small babies or something. I was like, this isn't good because the baby is still small. The doctor came in and I could tell that he was trying to not alarm us, but he basically said that the baby was still measuring small, and on the growth curve, I guess it's kind of like it's exponential. Anyway, the growth curve is like this, and then it kind of goes up exponentially towards the end, you know, like in your the last half of your second trimester, beginning of your third, and all the way through to the end of pregnancy kind of goes up exponentially. He said, okay, so your baby's growth should be like this, and your baby's growth is kind of like this. And I like just got really alarmed, and he said that the baby is in the 7th percentile. Last time it was in the 13th percentile. The cutoff for them to do any sort of like extra screening or whatever is 10, in like the 10th percentile. And so now my baby was in the 7th percentile. But I had told him, listen, you guys are, I think, are calculating my gestational age incorrectly, because I don't have a 28-day cycle. When I ovulated for this pregnancy to occur, it was actually 2 weeks after the last day of my last period. And so basically, like, they were still calculating my due date by the last day of my last period, which would put my baby at an incorrect gestational age based on the date that I ovulated. And I know the exact date that I ovulated because I had been taking OPKs due to my erratic period cycle lengths because of my PCOS. So I actually ovulated 2 weeks after the last day of my last period. I got 2 positive readings, one on November 21st in the morning, and then I took one at night, and they were both positive, and then I got a positive reading the morning of November 22nd. So we could have conceived either one of those days, which would obviously change the gestational age of my baby. So I told my doctor this information because nobody had asked, you know, even my doctor still didn't ask today. I actually had to provide that information to him, and I like showed him, I still had a picture like on my phone of all of my OPKs like lined up, and I showed him the dark lines signifying like a positive reading for an OPK. I also showed him my app that I use, which I forget what it's called, and how I basically tracked every single thing. So he ended up changing my due date. Now, instead of having my due date set on August 9th, I am due August 15th. And that brings little baby Daly number 2 up to the 26th percentile for growth. And he said I wouldn't bat an eye at 26th percentile. He said that's perfectly normal, that's fine. I am so happy with that. He goes, my concern level just dropped significantly. And I was like so relieved that he was like, that makes more sense to me, because I guess when I first went in for my 8-week ultrasound, like OB confirm appointment, the measurement of the baby at that point signified or suggested that I have a due date of August 14th. I don't know where in the communication it ended up, my due date ended up being August 9th, but I think that they had just continued to my due date based on the last day of my last period. So the news was pretty intense and scary at the beginning of the appointment, but after I offered up these facts and like additional information that would make a significant impact to the news that they were delivering, he changed my due date, and everything is totally fine now. I have a completely healthy, normal-sized baby. I am also now only 22 weeks and 3 days, and not 23 weeks and 2 days. So, yeah. I'm actually like on time with my chalkboards now, because I still haven't done my 22-week chalkboard. So I would have been super behind if I'm coming up to 24 weeks, but I am not. I am only 22 weeks and 3 days which totally makes sense. I feel so much better now. The somewhat not so great news as far as I'm concerned is because now I'm only that far along, I'm no longer in the healthy, like recommended weight gain range. I'm probably about 5 to 10 pounds over like the recommended weight gain range, between 25 and 35 pounds. I was on the like larger band of that weight gain range, and so now I'm projected to be about like 40 or 45 pounds of weight gain if I continue to gain at the pace I have been, which is totally fine. It still doesn't hold a candle to the 80 pounds that I gained my last pregnancy. So I am still like really just happy with my progress. I am so relieved that the baby is doing fine. I just wanted to update you guys on how my appointment went, and I'm gonna go make my decaf coffee now. But I will talk to you guys in a little bit.